Up your microphone a little bit. It's quite quiet, at least for me. Maybe that's me.
Okay, let's see if we can.
That's fine. Yeah, great. Okay, so our next speaker is Oana Samoila. Is that something? It is, and she's going to give you three easy steps for using
That's not exactly.
pronunciation in class.
Yeah, I'm going to be talking about pronunciation, so I should have included the phonetics for my name, I
You can
imagine.
drill me on them.
Yes, exactly. Okay, so I'm going to be talking about pronunciation. I am a freak of pronunciation. I love it. I use it all the time with my students, and I've found that a lot of other teachers don't really use it as much. So because of that, and because of the fact that technically I think that unfortunately we get very little tools to use with teaching pronunciation, I've started to kind of create some stuff. So I'm going to be showing you some of that today. So basically the three steps I was talking about are raising the learner's awareness, giving basic sound insight, and using games and technology. And I'm going to walk you through all of these. So let's start with some questions. If you could please type in the chat box, how often do you use pronunciation in class? And when do you use it? Do you use it at the beginning of the lesson? Do you use it midway? Do you just random words? Is it part of your lesson? Okay. Oh, I'm very happy. I always love seeing people who are equally enthusiastic about pronunciation. Okay. It comes up when needed, sometimes planned, sometimes off the cuff when. Okay, awesome. Do you give feedback on pronunciation, and how do you give feedback on pronunciation? Oh, okay, little and often it comes up, or if it's an important aspect of okay. Use the chart, self-correction, sometimes whole lessons. Yes, Letta, I am with you there. Okay, not to correct. Okay, so let me just start by asking you the same question I ask my students. I ask them what they knew about pronunciation. So taking me out of the equation and saying, before me, without my lessons, what do you know about pronunciation? If you had to answer these questions, what do your learners know about pronunciation? If it would just have to be one short phrase, what would that be? Good, okay. Oh, I love peer correction. Okay, not enough, probably. Okay. Well, I'll tell you, connected speech is hard. Yeah, very little. Yeah, it is a very general question. I agree with that. I really wanted them to be as honest as possible in telling me as little as possible. That was okay. So hard to learn. Yeah. Well, I'll share with you what the answers were when I asked my students. First of all, most of my students said it's difficult to learn. And I think you can all agree with me that your students usually say that as well. I would like to underline the fact that they used the verb to learn. So they do believe that it's something that they can learn. At the same time, a very creative student of mine said that it uses alien symbols. And you know what? I agree with him. It does use alien symbols. Because anything that you do not know how to use is as foreign as, I don't know, Martian. So definitely I believe in enabling students to use IPA sounds. And we're going to discuss that further in my talk. Okay, Emma from Buenos Aires says they don't need to know so much about Pron system. It's more about raising awareness and creating audio and muscle memory. Okay, that's interesting. It's gonna somehow find its way into what I'm saying today. I have to say that the third answer that I got most often broke my heart. They said that they were unable to hear and create some sounds. And actually, I think that that's sad, because if you think that it's impossible, then truly, what is the point in spending the money to come to classes or going abroad for 6 months. So no, it's not impossible, and that is something that we should actually transmit to our students. So that brings me to my little three pieces of advice. Make sound available. Go above and beyond the repeat after me good approach. Now, unfortunately, I am myself a non-native, and I've been lucky enough to be in a CLIL situation that had both native and non-native teachers. But I found that usually both of those categories were going, oh, your pronunciation is not really accurate. Repeat after me. Really? Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. And that brings me to my second point. Plan for IPA. Plan for phonetics. Make mistakes. Experiment. Take a word that your students get, write it on the board. Maybe you'll make a mistake, maybe you won't. The important thing is that it's there and your students become accustomed to seeing it. And when they open a dictionary, they'll think, oh, you know what? I can do this because my teacher does it with me all the time. This in turn brings me to my last piece of advice, which is value intelligibility and help your students value it. By that I mean that when you make sound available and when you plan for IPA, you also have to be perfectly aware of the fact that they won't get it right. Not the first time, not the second time, not the third time. Maybe it's going to be a couple of years before you're actually going to see some progress. But intelligibility means, is the message that my students are trying to communicate coming across? Can I understand what they're saying? Does it really matter that they don't have an American accent, an Australian accent, a British accent? Does it matter? And so intelligibility is something that we should not take for granted and promote in our classes. And this connects with going above and beyond the repeat after me good kind of approach and using more IPA. This brings me to the second step. Basic sound insight. By basic sound insight, I mean, how often do you use IPA with your students? Can your students recognize individual sounds? Could you just type that in? How often, I'm sorry for the slides being a bit, they look like they were hit by a truck. I was discussing it with Neil before, but. So how often do you use IPA with your students, and can your students recognize individual sounds? We have charts, yeah, definitely. Some bit by bit, okay. Okay. Most can't. I don't even always teach it. I use it a lot for connected speech, and it really is magic. I'm still a bit scared of it, but when I have used it, the results have been pleasing, especially the ones that are repeatedly yeah, I agree. They feel hard to learn. Absolutely, I agree with all of these things. Okay. Okay. Now, there was another question in there that said, and it was connected to this little thing that just popped in. Can your students pronounce individual sounds as accurately as possible without relying on L1 pronunciation features? So can they pronounce English sounds without reverting to L1 pronunciation features? Yes, depends on the student sometimes, okay, sometimes, not exactly, okay, some sounds. Okay, so that's exactly what I want to talk about. I think, at least my experience has been, that I've been shown how to teach pronunciation, going at it a bit from using a top-down approach. And all the time I was doing this, I was thinking, you know what? It doesn't feel right. So I kind of tipped things over and I said, you know what? I'm going to go at it the other way around. I'm going to go at it bottom-up approach. Why? Because technically you can't be expected to hear something, produce something that you have no idea how it is produced in your mouth. That's why I asked you about if your students can pronounce English sounds without any problems, because most of the time they think they can, but they can't, because they're actually just doing it using their own mother tongue. So what I mean by that is your students need to know that there are 4 aspects of sound production. 4, let's just say, 4 things that create sound. Simplest possible explanation. That is your jaw, your lips, your tongue, and your vocal cords. The combination of all of these factors, things, creates sound in almost all languages on this planet. We're going to exclude from this list a particular language in Africa that is created by basically clicking your tongue, but that's not relevant for this. What is relevant is that in most languages you use the same organs in more or less the same way to produce sound. So why is it so difficult to have them produce English sounds? What I did was I thought they need a guide. I need to find something that makes it clear to my students that I'm doing Pron right now. And this is what they have to do. So I created this little character called Mia Sound. I gave it the name of my grandma because she has a very strong voice. And what I did was I also created some worksheets, handouts, presentation charts, something that I can give my students that shows them exactly how their mouth works when the sound is created. As you can see on this particular worksheet, I have the sounds, both of the E, I have E, and I have A. And as you can see, Mia has that position of the mouth that clearly shows them, gives them the visual of exactly how the sound looks like on their face. Not only that, but next to it, we have the instructions that tells them how wide their mouth should be, how open it should be, if their lips are stretching towards their ear, or if they're pushing forming an ooh sound, for example. What I did is not impossible. Everybody can create their own little Miss Mia sound. But what I do want you to get from this is that it can make it easier for starter students, for advanced students, for young learners, for adults to look at something like this and say, I can do this. That's what I was trying to inspire my students. Obviously, from this, you can go on and you can create worksheets. I have created worksheets that focus on them matching the picture with the instructions, focusing on minimal pairs there in exercise 4. All the while, again, trying to make it as approachable as possible. I'm going to try and see if I can share this with you. If I can, just give me 1 second, I'll get the link, and you can go and download this particular bundle from my blog, so no problem there. Here it is. I'm going to type in the link right now. You can see it under my name in the chat box. So you can go, they're completely free. You can go and download them and have fun with them. Obviously, this my third step. Obviously, we have this little character, really cute character. What am I going to do? I'm going to make it into a game. So my question is, how often do you use games in class? How often do those games focus on pronunciation? And do you know any games that focus on pronunciation and are fun? Because games should be fun. Oh, my surname is, well, actually, realistically, it should be Samoila. But usually I live in Italy and everybody just says Samoila, which is okay as well. So, okay. So do you use games in class? Okay. Maybe yes. I hope you do. Games are important. I love pronunciation games as well. They're very hard to find. Okay, especially for kids. Unfortunately, not very often where you're going to see a game that you're going to love here, and I hope you're going to use it more often. Edutainment rules. I agree with Rod over there. Okay, let me show you my game. I was trying to find a game that was interesting and fun and would help me teach pronunciation, and I couldn't find anything, honestly. I tried. I couldn't. They were just not fun. So I invented my own. I'm a big fan of bingo, so what I did was I took the idea of bingo and made it into something that you could use with pronunciation. And here it is. This is my sounds bingo. As you can see, there's an empty space in the middle of the instructions where you should put in the sounds that you're going to focus on. I'm going to give you the instructions for this real quick because I'm running out of time and I think Neil's going to kick me out. Bingo instructions. Decide which sounds are part of the bingo. Ask students to fill in their grid with those sounds randomly as they prefer. You play bingo. The students eliminate their sounds from left to right. They have to go in order. The first student to finish his grid wins. He or she will conduct the next bingo game. Now, when I say play bingo, what I mean is you have three options. Option one is call out individual sounds. This focuses only on that sound, which means that it gives you a lot of opportunity to correct both the production of the sound from the mouth, but also the sound itself. So it's really, really good when you're trying to work on isolated sounds. A really nice thing that I came up with, because some of my students got the right sound, but their mouths were really contorted, was mouth individual sounds. That means that you're basically mouthing it without actually emitting any sound. But if your mouth is in the right position, your classmates should be able to guess what sound it is. And obviously the last one, it could be the sound is within a word and they have to obviously listen, identify the sound, and then cross it out their grid. I usually use it with my students and they love it. I'm going to share this right now with you. Okay, is it okay? Let's see. Oh my God, I'm really bad at this. Okay, Neil, I have no idea how to do that, but you can find it at the same link where you are going to find the Miss Mia sound. So that's that's so nice.
Statue.
Okay.
Statue.
Okay, let's see. We're gonna stop this one. Okay, so finally, I'm going to ask you about technology real quick. What kind of technology do you have in class, and do you use tech every day? I do. I have a projector and obviously computer and screen in my class. I do not have an interactive whiteboard, although I really love them. If you have one, I would. So what kind of technology do you use? Okay. Okay. Student smartphones, yes, I use that as well. Apps too, yeah, definitely. Okay. Well, I'm asking because my students absolutely love technology, especially younger ones. So what I do is I do WebQuest projects. So we use GIFs to illustrate sound production, and I'm gonna show you exactly what I mean. This is something that one of my students came up with. I was trying to teach them that sound. Everybody knows what that sound is, right? They call it the idiot sound, but I didn't really agree with it because my students were really happy using the idiot sound. So I call it the zombie sound. So one of my students actually came up to me one day and said, you know, I found the perfect GIF for your sound, and this is it, basically. And I agree with them, I have to say. I mean, it's perfect. Yeah, it's like the zombie sound. I mean, imagine a zombie, you know, it's perfect, it's perfect. And definitely, you can basically GIFize every possible sound on that chart. It's really nice for them. It's a caveman sound. Oh, I've never thought about that. Oh my God, I'm going to so look for a GIF for that. Yes, definitely. Another little app that I use with my students is when we want to create a GIF or something similar to that, is we use InShot app. It's a light video editor the size of an app that to make sound production videos. I use it to make GIF-like videos, projects. We use it for video or social media, and we also use it for connected speech as a connected speech illustration, because I talk to it. And I would have the video, but the videos look something like this, okay? Yeah, so they can actually see how they produce sound, yeah. Okay? And finally, what's up? I know that this is the most obvious tech on the planet right now. It's on everybody's phones. So why not use it to share sound videos, GIFs, audio messages, cat pictures? Possibly, yeah, definitely. I got some excellent ideas from Laia Cannells and Pitt Mitchell's. You can see that those are their Twitter handles. Definitely check them out. They're really, really smart about what's up. And I saw them at the Innovate ELT conference in Barcelona a couple of weeks ago. Now, what I do with what's up is I send students the word and have them send it back pronounced. Great way to keep a record. I create class groups where students can give feedback to each other for sound production. Students can send audio file with a word or sentence and ask other students to write the word or sentence. Great way to show difference in perception and the concept of intelligibility. Send students chunks of text at normal speed to work on connected speech. Great way to make them notice and work on it bottom up. And finally, have students try out features of connected speech and keep a record that can be used in class using WhatsApp web. You can also basically use it to technically show when they're not doing it the right way. So it can work in any which way. Okay, guys, I want to thank you so much, and I want to thank Neil for being really patient with me. I think I've run over my allotted time. This is the link to my blog and my Facebook page, and I'd like to thank you very much. I'm very, very excited to be here, and I'm very happy. I think it's been a really wonderful day today.
No, thank you, Anna. And sorry that I played the video at the wrong time. I was trying to find Jessica, who was rushing to get here. I was chatting at the same time. You can download that fantastic PDF of Miss Mia Sound just by clicking on Miss Mia Sound, the second file down there, and clicking download file, and also get the phonetics bingo poster that Oana has shared with everybody, again by clicking on phonetics and quickly downloading the file. So if you all do that while we're doing that, I will stop the